All right, go.
Okay, this is your video, so you should start with something. Or
Okay, that's. What do you think about the Final Fantasy games?
as of now, I started a long time ago when I bought FF7 on my Switch, FF7 OG, of course, and I was kind of I was really immersed in what was the ambience, the really dark and somehow creepy ambience of the this very advanced society and very steampunk like. As of now, I played 4, 7 OG, 8, 9, which is my favorite, 10, and 15. I found it at like 12 euros at a used market at my local game
Are those
store.
your favorite ones?
My favorite one is 9. For all of the message of finding a purpose in our lives and living it, whether it's a big goal, it's a big purpose, or a small one. Because if you remember in 9, you have a character like Quina. She has the only thing of I wanna eat frogs all day, but
Yeah, Final Fantasy 9 is my favorite.
nevertheless, even if it's a small a small goal, a small purpose in their lives, it's still worth doing it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Final Fantasy 9 is my favorite. It's like probably the one I play over and over again. Even 7.
No, I haven't replayed the Final Fantasy games more than once because I'm trying to play them all at least one time. Just like I'm doing with Dragon Quest as well.
Yeah, I need to play Dragon Quest.
Yeah, the video was about FF7 remake, right? Or something like this.
Yeah.
Alright.
Well, I mean, it's whatever Final Fantasy you want.
Well, Final Fantasy, yes. The only thing I played of the remake was the very first because they put it in the essential subscription, but it was like 2019 or like a year after it came out on all modern consoles. Just like you said in all of those videos and the 1 hour and a half minute long one, it really feels like the game was made for shippers, a lot of shippers, and
Yeah,
those two kind of ships like Chlorit, Chlorum, sodium chloride,
Salty, Clothy Clarith.
Cloud Claros, yeah, Cloud X, everything, the Cloud per Tifa. The problem with Nomura was that we don't know for certain, but he probably has written the story only of the first part of the remake. You should know that FS7 does have kind of all the OG members, the most important ones, Kitase, Nojima, uh, not Sakaguchi, of course, because he couldn't care less about Square Enix right now. Nomura was somehow happened to be the director of the game, and but he is not totally guilty the of the script. Most of it comes from Nojima actually, which is the one that also did those crappy things on Final Fantasy VIII.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I don't like Nomura, because he just ruins everything he touches.
Nomura, as of now, Nomura is kind of like an old man on a big revenge because, as you know, Square cancelled his very big project, which isn't a Kingdom Hearts but Versus 13, with all that kind of rescheduling of the Final Fantasy that was Versus 13 in 15. It was a big letdown for him as an author because at that moment he made like 4 different Kingdom Hearts games.
Yeah, I really don't like Kingdom Hearts, honestly. It's just so. I mean, I like the second one and the first one, but I'm not that big of a fan of Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts is something really special for me because I played it when I was a little kid. I played somehow. It happened that I played just a little bit of Dream of Distance because there was the demo on my Nintendo 3DS, but then I recovered that I played all of them chronologically in chronological order. Somehow I like how
Yeah,
the
okay, let's see.
Disney and
Like when
Final
it comes
Fantasy
to
works, and how actually the first Kingdom Hearts is a very heartful story, even if it has those kind of Nomura things like the end of the world or stuff like that.
yeah, the first one is good. The second one is good, but the other ones not really. I thought Kingdom Hearts 3 was actually going to be good, but it wasn't.
Look, Birth by Sleep, it's okay. Dream of Distance is awful. We all know that. Story speaking, because I actually like all of Kingdom Hearts games on the gameplay. I like how they diversify. And
So
do you know one thing about Kingdom Hearts? The producer was Sakaguchi, and in fact, Sakaguchi was the man responsible to the complex story that Kingdom Hearts was, because he was the very one to push Nomura to do a more complicated story, because he needs to be a different competitor. It shouldn't be like Final Fantasy. But we're talking already the period where there was no Squaresoft or Enix. It was only Square Enix. We're talking about like 2000, late 2000s.
yeah, I don't know. I just always prefer like I mean, I do play the modern Final Fantasy games, and it doesn't matter what people say. I'm still gonna end up playing those games because I like Final Fantasy.
Yes. Look, I played Final Fantasy 15 because of a friend of mine. Is way older than me, and he lived all the process of marketing of Versus 13. And when the 15 came out and he bought it, it was a complete delusion. So his story made me play 15 with more curiosity, or I could have left 15 as one of the last to play. I played 15 right
Yeah,
after I
when I
finished the 10.
first
Yes,
yeah, when I
the
first found out about 15, that was years ago, and I was waiting for that game to come out, and it was disappointing. I was just expecting better from that game.
no, allora, so there is very little of what remains of Versus 13 in 15, like Insomnia. Even if it's not totally explorable, some parts of Insomnia are explorable somehow with the mods, and it's all part of the original Versus 13. Then what came after is really such a mess of a story. Hajime Tabata doesn't know how to write a story,
Yeah,
evidently.
yeah. There's the movies you have to watch and everything, and then you got to
Oh,
read the
yes.
book that they give you. So and then the anime. Like I don't have time to look for this. Why can't you just put it in the game instead?
Look, FF15 was successful for many things. First being, it was the very first Final Fantasy to come on PS4, meaning the next generation of consoles. There was a whole lot of marketing, which was all the script ideas, because they had to launch the game somehow earlier in those years. And so all the scrapped content came into the movies, came into the merch, in all those secondary things, the DLCs. You know that besides
Yeah,
the episodes we have, there should have been a Noctis episode, a Luna Freya episode, and an Aranea episode.
Yeah, they canceled it. I don't know why. I forgot.
Because Tabata tried to make the effort to complete what FF15 has become, but Square said no, we can do this. They just they script all of the remaining things because they know it was a good success. Monetary speaking, I mean, it sold a lot. Maybe it's the Final Fantasy that has sell more copies than ever, than all of them. But it's a shitty game.
Yeah, it is
There's
very
nothing to say.
bad.
It's a shitty
I
game,
didn't like it.
and many people
Like
try
even
to
Final.
pull out this thing. But FF15 was a success for Square. Yes, but for all these merchandise things.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 13 was also a big disappointment. I didn't like that one either.
Look, I love your video of Only One is Good of the FF13 trilogy. I loved it. You made me feel how awful the game is, but eventually I'll play it as well.
You haven't played it?
No?
Have you played it?
No, I will play it.
Oh my god, you're
Even if
gonna
it's
suffer. It's like
even if
it's
it
so
says even if
boring.
it says because I wanna do kind of this completionist thing because it's somehow I wanna see how badly the series has went down after Sakaguchi left. Also, did you know FF11 was MMO because Sakaguchi wanted it? He played an MMO called EverQuest years before World of Warcraft and years before FF, some other famous MMOs. And he was befuddled.
Yeah, I haven't played it. I haven't played 11 or I haven't played 11 or 14.
We'll eventually play 11 because they will put a no time free trial later this year. And I will try the first expansion in the base game. I do have some friends that would like to play it with me, so why not?
Yeah, that's I just like I cannot. People telling me to play 14, but I don't like MMOs. I don't even like Final Fantasy 12. Final Fantasy 12 is so boring.
Look, the only thing about FF15 I know is a friend of mine that says if you play the first 3 expansions, you know it's kinda ass, but when you get to Shadowbringers, it's one of the best experiences you ever had. But still, you still have to play hundreds of hours of the first 3 expansions. It means the first 3 expansions are ass. They are not Final Fantasy.
So then what's happening? I don't
So
know. It's
what's the
just that
deal?
I'm
People
not.
played because I don't know. There's a big housing mechanic on FF14. I don't even know if they play like an MMOs, like they do in World of Warcraft, but classic World of Warcraft. Matter of fact, you know how FF13 had kind of a big change before the first expansion called Ariam Reborn. It was the first time Naoki Yoshida kinda did something extreme, but saved that game. It was kind of quite original. The very first version of Final Fantasy XIV, but it was unplayable. It was totally unplayable. They hired
Oh, you have to redo the whole thing.
Naoki Yoshida as like a game director. I don't know. And he one thing that he himself has said was that he was so angry for the mess they've done with that project. He was so angered that he made play all of the programming team, World of Warcraft, because a lot of things in Final Fantasy XIV are copied from World of Warcraft, but not the classic World of Warcraft, the modern version of World of Warcraft, which was kind of a delusion, since with the last expansions, there was a loss on the importance of the classes you will choose in a MMOs. Like there's the rogue, which can only go melee with no healing spells or healing potions. Now the rogue can heal himself while while attacking mid fight. This was the big thing about MMOs and MMORPGs. This kind of social interaction that was really important because you couldn't do anything alone. FF14 you can play the first 3 expansions totally alone. That's kind of
I have never played.
That's kind
Sorry,
of
I never played World of Warcraft.
Yeah, I'll speak. I'm talking about this because I have a friend that he's a vet of World of Warcraft, and he totally dropped it after the World of Warcraft modern expansions. So about Final Fantasy, I play these games. Probably I'll play Final Fantasy V because I want to know how they manage the job system here in that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I miss the job system in Final Fantasy. They don't do that anymore.
I think it's very cool. I think it can work to this day because Square has made like a lot of Dragon Quest remakes, and they've made Dragon Quest 3, which is kind of the godfather of job system in JRPGs, of course. And it was kind of a
I still haven't played
success. Tell me, you haven't played it, or no?
No, I have not played Dragon Quest.
Yeah, you have not played it. Yeah, sorry for my bad English.
So tell me about Dragon Quest.
Dragon Quest. All right. Many of the games I play are all from external influences. I hardly go and try and search for myself all of these JRPGs or any other type of game. Actually, I entered in a server of a Twitch streamer I really liked, and I found this person who was such a big fan of Dragon Quest. Actually, he talked about it as very important, as such a good experience. Not so much in story, but like exploring and the sense of adventure. What Dragon Quest really does so well is the sense of adventure. And so I tried with the very first Dragon Quest, but not like the NES version. I played the mobile version of Dragon Quest 1, and it was kinda unique because in Dragon Quest 1 it's only you have only one playable character, and you have to do all the game solo. Of course, you only fight one enemy at a time because it would be impossible to play against 2 enemies at a time. But then I think it's important to play Dragon Quest even for a history matter. To see how many games, how many other JRPGs are influenced by Dragon Quest, or directly or indirectly. Dragon Quest was also
didn't Dragon Quest influence Final Fantasy?
Huh? No, tell me. What did you
Didn't
say?
Dragon Quest influence Final Fantasy, if I remember?
Look. Sakaguchi has arrived maybe 10 years after Dragon Quest, the very first Dragon Quest. Of course, he may have played Dragon Quest for the JRPG structure. But the very big difference between Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest, these are words from Yuji Horii, the creator of Dragon Quest, is that the main protagonist of DQ is silent, so that it makes you more involved in the story, like you are the one playing that character, and it doesn't have such a big story so that it feels yours. Of course, this kind of small story kind of changed with the Dragon Quest 4 and 5, but whatever. It works so well.
Okay, look, if I can, I probably will play Dragon Quest just because I need to get more into the series. But I always did prefer Final Fantasy because it doesn't, like, from what I remember playing Dragon Quest when I was younger. I did like it a lot. Number 8 was my first one, and I did play Dragon Quest 11, and that's actually a good one. But I never really got invested into the series much because I was more into like Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy did make me more of an RPG fan because of the world building and the job system in the series and everything.
Look, Final Fantasy has two big things that Dragon Quest doesn't have, which are his uniqueness in the world building, the character design in it, but even the story, of course. The story is, let's say, far more deeper than a Dragon Quest game. I would say the big
Really.
difference. I would say the big difference relies on the story, but that's it. I could even argue about how Dragon Quest is way more interactive than Final Fantasy games, but I'm not so sure about it. I gotta elaborate further.
Hmm. I mean, the thing is that like I don't even know where to begin. I don't know what's the best one. I mean, I only play like two, 11 and 8. That's it.
You played 2, 11, and 8. 8 is
Yeah, that's
kind
the
of
only two ones.
the 8 is kind of the more iconic one, the one more I don't know how to say it in English. Um,
Popular.
acclaimed from the critic and the game and the fan base, of course. 11 is the most modern one and the most accessible one. With I don't know, I haven't played it yet, so I think it has a good story. I don't know. What I really
You haven't played
think,
11?
what I really think, a Final Fantasy fan should reach in the Dragon Quest series is 5. I think I said this to you already in chat, but the main thing about Dragon Quest 5, of course, is the adventure, but it has the heaviest, biggest focus on the main character. Actually, you get you get you need to do some of the hardest choices in the Dragon Quest games that I have played at the moment. I don't know how is after 6, but one other important thing is the evolution of the hero. You see the hero as a small kid, like a 5, 6 year old. You then see what happens to him. Some very bad things happen to him, and you keep playing as him when he's like 16 or 17 years old, because it's kind
Hmm.
of that's kind of the age of all Dragon Quest heroes, like all teenagers. They are young adults, how we usually would say.
I guess I could. I guess I could just get into the series more, but I'll try. Not. I can't make any promises, and that probably might like it or not, because I was always a Final Fantasy person.
You wanna get in some games that are more similar to Final Fantasy, you should play Bravely Default.
Yeah, everybody keeps telling me to play that. I like.
Look,
I
it's
don't know
not
if I could
Final
actually get
Fantasy.
into it.
It doesn't have the Final Fantasy title. but it was developed by the studio that would become then Team Asano, which is the one responsible to all the Dragon Quest remakes, Octopath and Triangle Strategy. They started with the Four Heroes of Light.
Mhm.
That was a Final Fantasy. Then they also, I don't think they did, but they should have worked on the Final Fantasy 3 and 4 3D remake for the Nintendo DS. I'm not sure of it though.
I, I guess, but look, I'll get into Bravely Default, but who knows if I'm gonna like it or not.
Yeah, also because you, of course, the one who writes the story isn't Sakaguchi or other teams that are somehow involved with the OG Final Fantasy games. So, but you should give it a try. Why not?
All right. I mean, yeah, I'll give it a
What
try and
else?
see how if I like it or not.
Now, what else?
Okay, what's your
You,
favorite soundtrack in Final Fantasy?
ah, this is a very hard question though. I really like 9. 9, even though there is I don't remember if in the soundtrack there was also Hamauzu, other outside of Uematsu, because 9 was the very first Final Fantasy where Uematsu decided to hire some co-workers to do some of the soundtrack. He couldn't do it alone anymore.
Yeah, he stopped. I remember in Final Fantasy X, he did some of it, not all of it.
You know, the cinematic at the beginning when Sina destroys all of Zanarkand. You know that heavy metal song, not metal song.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
all of
I know. It's a
that's Uematsu's work. That's Uematsu's work.
really.
Yes, but
I didn't even
Uematsu
know that.
is a composer. He's very video game oriented, which is kind of a big difference in between I don't know, Yoko Shimomura, you know, the one who make Kingdom Hearts soundtrack, or Mario and Luigi, or I don't know, other stuff.
Yoko Shimomura.
Yeah, Yoko Shimomura.
Yeah, she does Kingdom Hearts and Parasite
Yeah,
Eve and Super Mario RPG.
The thing with Shimomura is that she's way more orchestral. Orchestral. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, she's very orchestral.
Uematsu has kind of he definitely has heavy influences on classical music. If you try to see comparisons to One Winged Angel, Sephiroth OST, you can see it's very similar to a classic piece. I don't know if it's Tchaikovsky or like some Russian man. I don't know. I'm not studied on that.
Yeah, he does do orchestral music, but it's mostly like in serious moments, and mostly his music is more like electronic for moments that aren't that serious, you know?
Yes, yes, yes. Um, Sakaguchi has strictly worked on video games, which is somehow his formation has led him to make more video game music. I don't know how to explain it, but JRPGs have this kind of more cinematic feeling to it that it makes you experience the soundtrack way more than an action game will do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. It's like it just depends on the music and the mood. Because from I grew up listening to his
It
music,
depends
and
on what the players. It depends on what the player is doing.
yeah,
because if it's all kind of in my opinion, if it's all kind of reactionary and very fast oriented, you then lose the small the small things, you know, which can also be the soundtrack.
Yeah, the soundtrack is pretty good.
But of course, they can make also good work on action games with the soundtrack. Like I remember some of the OST from Final Fantasy 15, like bit by bit. I could I could recreate it because it's so beautiful. You know, in on Final Fantasy 15, it's all Yoko Shimomura's doing.
Yeah, the whole soundtrack was done by her. It's a good
Yes.
soundtrack, but it's it doesn't really feel like Final Fantasy. It just feels more like Kingdom Hearts.
Because it's her style. It feels more Kingdom
Yeah,
Hearts
I
because
know.
it's Shimomura style. If you play games like Mario and Luigi, you can still feel that kind of Kingdom Hearts thing, or like I don't know. You know that Shimomura has done one piece for the soundtrack of Vampire Crawlers, which is the successor of Vampire Survivors.
Vampire Crawlers? What is that?
Yes, it's the next game of the Vampire Survivors creators.
Hmm. I've actually never heard of that.
It's a good. It's kind of a fun game. More. I don't know how to explain it. It's a fun game.
You know what's
Do
a
you know
good Final
Balatro?
Fantasy composer I feel like?
Huh?
Who?
Do you know Balatro? That roguelike
No, I
card
do not.
game? No, you don't. Whatever. It's a roguelike game. Vampire Survivors. It's a very popular
I've
one
never
in
heard
its
of that.
genre. But it's very popular in its genre. What were you saying?
Um, the music for Final Fantasy 16. Soken. Have you played 16?
I know nothing about 16. I know nothing outside of like
Really?
those two OSTs that I found on Tekken because you know Clive is in Tekken as a guest character, and I play Tekken. But other than that, I do nothing. I know nothing. Mainly because I'm not interested in it,
Yeah, I actually
and I wanna play
you should play it
other FF
once
games.
and then
You should play once, and
I mean it is Final Fantasy, but like you should play it once and then never play it again. That's just to experience. No, play Final Fantasy 16 once and then never
mm,
touch it again. This is just so you can experience what I went through with Final Fantasy 16.
god damn, you make it sound like a tragedy.
It is like it's not. I mean, it's okay. It has some good things, but it's not that great of a game as people say it is.
Mm. Look, I don't trust the modern FF audience like at all. The modern FF audience is the same that
Yeah,
likes
I don't mean neither. Like,
the FF7 remakes. So why would I hear from those people?
yeah, hear it from me. Hear it from me. I've been a
Yes.
fan for a long time, but just play it once and then never touch it again because modern audiences they'll tell you that it's good, which it really isn't. It's not a great game. It's not a great Final Fantasy game as people say it is.
Yeah, they say it's good, but then it's kind of mediocre.
Yeah, it's very mediocre.
Mediocre, yes, mediocre. Um, I should try and get invested in some other JRPGs, like I don't know,
Persona.
Persona. I played 4. I am not a big fan of Persona 4. Mainly, it's a gameplay thing. Mainly because of the dungeons and
I mean,
how the game is structured. I don't have a problem with a limited time type of interactions that you can do in a day, but how slow they can feel. Maybe Persona fans do like the kind of slow pacing. They do like these expository dialogues. I just don't. I'm not a fan of it.
No, that I mean, not even Persona. Have you played Persona 5?
No,
Really? That's
no.
actually the best one from what
Yeah,
I mean.
that's
I mean,
what
it's a
everyone
good
says to
game, but
me.
it's not good.
But I just don't want it. I My biggest influences was with Final Fantasy. Like the people I socialize more with are Final Fantasy fans. So I got more influenced by
Yeah, I
them
know.
rather than Persona fans.
Yeah, Persona fans are a little bit crazier. The whole shipping wars of who's the best girl, which Persona game is better. Yeah, I stay away from those people, but I'm more invested in Final Fantasy.
That is total nonsense. Totally useless. Useless banter. Useless banter. I don't know how to
Yeah, and, like
describe it better.
um, unnecessary to the debates online, just who is better and which is better.
Yes. I will then eventually play other dead Square Enix series like Parasite Eve or Vagrant Story. Those kind
Oh,
of
Parasite
that
Eve, you
series.
should.
I
You,
should.
you should play Parasite Eve.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, because I was kind of in love with how the gameplay was. I see it's created and made. I think it's kind of cool for an horror game. I think it's very unique.
The what?
The gameplay, you know how you gotta wait for the ATB bar to load, and then you can do your action like a Final Fantasy game.
Oh, yeah. See, they don't do that anymore. They don't. I miss turn-based Final Fantasy games. I mean, have you played Clair Obscur by any chance?
Yes, I did play it. I don't think it's the best JRPG that can ever be. The only big award that we can give to Expedition 33 is how they explained how the turn-based genre isn't over like in the mainstream market of video games.
You didn't enjoy it? Was it not? Was it like
Look,
not really your type of game?
I think there are some problems with the story, the gameplay. You can you can exploit it very easily. Not like Final Fantasy VIII that you can break it from the start, but it's very exploitable.
Yeah, there's one thing I didn't really like about the story. It's just like there's so many plot twists, and then it just starts to get a little bit. It starts to get a little bit confusing.
You wanna know a thing? Right when somewhere in the Act 3, they start when Luna and Mael and Ciel are recreated, they are repainted again. They start question versus nature. Like, who are you? What? Why? How you lied to us? Why didn't you say all of these things? Why didn't they? Why didn't they pose this question to themselves? From the very beginning, they met him because all of the expeditions that failed, they're all dead people. There's no survivor.
I know it's like I think that's probably the only thing that did bother me. Like, there's so many plot twists, and like if you're inside a painting, and I think Alicia is trying to, if I remember correctly,
Alicia,
that
yes.
yeah, if I remember correctly, she starts saying that the canvas is going to be erased and everybody's going to be erased, and like why can't she just create a new canvas with all her friends in it?
Because the Sonder family wouldn't don't want it to elaborate the loss of Verso, of the real Verso. They just don't want it to elaborate the loss of a child. So the
I know, but
problem
like,
the problem
could it
stays
create
there. If you chose
a new?
if in the final fight, if you choose Alicia, it's kind of the bad ending. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played it. Like I had to choose between which ending. I chose Alicia's ending. It's the bad ending, and the Versal's ending is the good ending, but it still feels kind of bad.
It has to feel bad. Why? It doesn't need to be all happy and happy things.
Yeah, that's why I
I
like
don't
it.
know.
It's not very
I,
happy. It's like depressing.
it's depressing, yes, but it has to be like this for the true ending. They move on, and that's it.
Yeah, it's
Probably
a
the sister of
it's a good
Alicia.
game, but it does have.
They will. I think they that the Sandfall Games said they will make another game, like a sequel to Expedition. Will probably have the explanation of why the writers decided to attack the painter's family, which was the Sun family, and
I
probably
hope it better
Alicia's
be
sister,
good.
and probably Alicia's sister will be the protagonist.
Well, this seems interesting. So it's like a what? A prequel? A sequel?
A sequel.
Well, it better be good because sometimes sequels don't really work well.
Hmm. Uh, what else? What can I say? I think Expedition can be described as a solid game, not an excellence. Absolutely not not an excellence. And people tend to overrate it, also overrate the game. It is emotionally investing, like Final Fantasy VIII. But then you realize how much of a load of shit there is in the story of Final Fantasy VIII, and you realize, wait, this story doesn't make
I
a lot of
know,
sense.
like Final Fantasy VIII is it's not that great, but it's still okay in my opinion.
You get really invested emotionally speaking with all the Squall evolution and relationship with Rinoa. That's the main focus of the story. The problem
Yeah,
is
it's a big love story.
the problem is everything that comes around it, like when Arvin remembers from in a moment how they were all in the same of how do you say it, orphanage, how they were all in the
Um,
same orphanage, and Edea was their tutor. They all, none of them remembers it because the GFs kind of erased their memories. That's the main excuse. But
yeah,
it
God,
is not
I never liked that.
explained thoroughly.
Yeah, look, that's something I don't like about Final Fantasy VIII. It's just it starts to get so confusing, and I don't like it, but I still like it because it's the graphics and everything else. But the story is the worst thing about Final Fantasy VIII. But yeah, we still appreciate it
Look,
because
FF8 is a hell of a game. In the programming things, there are some mods that make it better, but they are kind of a mess as well.
mhm.
They're just not worth it. You should just play the game as it is. I
Yeah, it's
don't
just like
think Square will try and make a remake out of FF8 because I don't know why.
no, they should not remake more Final Fantasies.
they were making a remake of Final Fantasy IX, but somehow the project is blocked for some reason.
No, they should just leave it alone. I don't want that game to be touched.
Look, the thing is, Look, the thing is, they have learned from what FF7 Remake was, and it's definitely a big investment of a game, and too much time to spend behind it. It really consumes a lot of resources, and how Yoshida said in a recent questionnaire, I don't know what to say, um, interview
It's
was that
because like
during
I
FF16 work, there was a lot of hand from the Kingdom Hearts studio, which is Creative Studio One, if I remember correctly, and that explains that says a lot of things. Like they are not so well handled these kind of big Final Fantasy games. They can't be they can't be held on its own.
yeah, like it's because I don't understand why they want to change the story. I don't get it. Like, what is there to change from the original game? The original game was perfect, but they wanted to make this stupid Kingdom Hearts invested story that nobody really wanted, and then they're complaining why sales are dropping is because of that.
Yeah, do you know a channel called Sebi Webs?
What?
Like, do you know the channel of a YouTuber called Sebi Webbed?
Yeah, I know who he is.
He said basically the same thing you just said. FF7 remake is a Kingdom Hearts fan. It's a Kingdom Hearts game made for those Kingdom Hearts fans, like something like this with his
Yeah,
manly voice.
because it's the for Nomura fans, Kingdom Hearts fans. They're not for the real Final Fantasy fans. They're just for shippers, Kingdom Hearts fans, hack and slashers. Just for those people. It's not for real Final Fantasy fans.
Yes, you know, Kingdom Hearts fans are drawed by FF7 remake because Kingdom Hearts fans are starving for a new game, for a new chapter of the series. Because Kingdom Hearts 5 at this point is like 5 years in development. We know nothing other than 5 screenshots they posted right after the cancellation uh, of the mobile game Missing Link. We know nothing. So what they do?
Oh yeah, they
Somehow they
released.
try to patch up this kind of hollow sensation with other things. FF7 Remix is definitely aimed to that kind of audience.
Yeah, it's because I really cannot get invested in the remake. I just like it's so boring. It's not that fun. It's just like I don't understand why people would enjoy it. Like people say that oh you gotta shut off your brain and or you're not really a true Final Fantasy fan if you don't like it. Like no, it's
Look, you
actually the
wanna know
other
a
way
thing?
around.
This thing you just said is very interesting. When someone on internet pulls out the card of yeah, you know this story, you can enjoy it because it's very whimsical. You know it can be good even if it's whimsical and happy things. You know the story is shit. You know that series, film, a movie, or whatever kind of media is where they pull out this card of the whimsical and joy things. It's like it's
I know the
seriously it
toxic
is a rule of
positivity
thumb.
thing. It's
We shouldn't even talk about toxic positivity. That's
okay,
just
the toxic
terrible.
positivity of Final Fantasy remake fans. They will just force you to like the game, and even though we cannot appreciate it, they think that we're the bad people just because we criticize them. We criticize the game just because we don't like it. We just like no, we don't like it because it ruins the story. It ruins the original story. It ruins everything. And then they just like it because they can't even come up with a good reason why to like it. They just like it for graphics, shippers, and just it's a shipping simulator game from what I realized.
Look, I was really unhappy with the part one of the remake. I didn't even bother to try and find out what Rebirth has done, all of these shitty ass things. And can you elaborate? I think you said like FF7 remake is a game made for advent children.
Yeah, I think it's a sequel, or I mean, I think it's a prequel to Advent Children because it's I don't even know how to explain that, but it's just something about it. It's just like it's a story that just it's so convoluted. Even Advent Children wasn't a great story either.
Mm, okay. Yeah, it's um, you know all the thing of Zack Fair. He was added. He was introduced in the international version of FF7, and it was
Yeah,
kind of. I don't know why they kind of added the Zack after, and they could have made it like just a generic man that
oh
somehow
my god, I
that somehow
I hate that he's
just
alive.
eh and yes, they could have made it just a generic man that we don't know anything about it because whether you make it Zack or a generic man, we don't know anything about him.
Zack, I mean, you got to play Crisis Core in order to understand who Zack is, and
Yes, I know that,
Zack
but
is just a
Crisis
character
Core
that
is a product
it,
that comes after FF7. Somehow they tried to make the best out of FF7 because it was the very first big hit in the West as for the Final Fantasy series. But they are making the cow a bit too much.
yeah, it's a
They always
problem.
did.
It's they're they're just milking Final Fantasy VII over and over, and then there's the gotcha game on the phone.
Ever
They're
Crisis.
redoing the story there too. From yeah, that oh my god, they're just like they cannot leave it alone. They cannot leave it alone. It just bothers me.
Yeah, whatever of that game. It looks good because that's kind of how I would imagine a sort of remake for those Final Fantasy games. They remain the structure of the drawings and interactive things on those drawings that the characters walking on it do. That could have been the what the remix should apply as a formula. That's the thing. They
Yeah,
shouldn't have made it
I
those.
know.
They shouldn't have made this third person view big 3D game. It was okay with the overworld, the small overworld, and the big cities in it, the big locations. That was the. It may sounds like a limitation of the time, but it's game design. That's what matters the most. It's game design. It's not just a limitation. It's a game design.
Hmm.
FF6 is
It's
a.
for
I bet it. I wouldn't even bet it's a fantastic game, but it's really playable. It doesn't have all those big exploring things to do, bloated with hundreds of useless things. Because it's all very. I don't know how to explain. I didn't play FF6. I played FF4. I played FF4 and
you haven't played it for
no, I will eventually play FF6. But I don't know. I kind of wanted to.
so,
I kind of wanted to get rid of the PS1 games because my only critique on all those three titles is that they all feel very slow even with the ATB system, they feel also slow. When I played the Final Fantasy IV, it was also much reactionary, more rapid. It was more instant, the action. That's
FF4 is
just
a good game.
story speaking. Yeah, is the very first form of how deep and complex the story would become then. The so it's so true because you know the logo of Final Fantasy IV, no? It's Kain. All of the game revolves around the redemption, not so much on Cecil, but the redemption of Kain, Kain Highwind. I don't know if it's Highwind
Yeah,
or how it's
Kane.
Kain with the K. I don't know how it's pronounced. The Dragoon, the friend of
Yeah, it's Kane
Cecil,
Highwind. Yeah, it's Kane Highwind.
Kain Highwind. All the game kind of revolves around the redemption of this character. Of course, Cecil has his moment of becoming a white knight, a paladin, and all that. But all the big focus was on Cain. Palom and Porom are some cool children that sacrifice themselves to save Cecil. Rosa is the damsel in distress. Rydia
Yeah.
is a very heartbroken kid. Tella is
Yeah,
just an old man yelling
it's
at the clouds, and Edward is I don't know, Edward is cool.
yeah, this is actually my first Final Fantasy game I ever played, and it's still probably one of my favorite ones.
It's a very cool one. It is one of my favorites. But my favorite
Yeah, it's
in
an underrated
absolute,
good game.
my favorite on top of everyone is 9, but 4 is one of those I like the most.
For me, it's 9 and 7 that are my favorite ones.
7 is probably the fourth. No, 7 is one of the lowest in the top. Mainly, it's a matter of gameplay, and the story was cool. I really don't remember the characters of Tifa or Barret. I remember Red 13 because Red 13 is so iconic in its story and its discovery. I just don't think Tifa and Barret are so much of they have such an iconic story. Tifa is a big part of Cloud's past, of course, but I don't remember
Yeah,
more
he's
of that.
an important character.
Yeah, but I don't remember any more of that. Barret has all that deal with his friend
Yeah, you should
Line and whatever. Tell me.
you should play it more often. I mean, if it is still one of my favorite games ever.
Yeah, it is undoubtedly one of the best. I don't consider it the best. The best for me is Final Fantasy IX.
Yeah, that's the best one. I can't disagree with you with that, but it is the best one.
Yes. Uh, yeah, and
All right.
okay, it was really nice to talk to you. I was really happy to do this.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
too.
thank you so much. Sorry for my
Okay,
accent or
see ya.
my fluent grammar because it's not that fluent, but I tried my best.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't mind.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go eat very soon.
Bye.
Yeah, bye bye.